Art is back, chaotic, unfiltered. Something's happening. Something big, something huge. We're inside of a renaissance. I know Beyonce invented it. I'm a founding member of the Beehive and massive Destiny's Child fan. Online trends are like hustle culture, late stage capitalism. We talk about burnout, but at the same time, I don't think we're talking enough about how like people around us are just making things. Music, fashion, memes, entire facades and personalities, and they're doing it with this kind of reckless, like inspired freedom. It's almost as if like everyone's been holding back their breath for so many years and now they're finally just exhaling. And it feels so right. And Beyonce, she titled her last album Renaissance, and she just took the lid off of what it even means to be a pop star, because now we have pop music that's genreless, which I'll get into because I'm such a fan of pop music. But we see it all over the internet, art, identity, culture. Like, we saw how the world, it just falls apart, and it's like, what else can we do but pick up a fucking paintbrush? Like the Renaissance, like the original Renaissance, like the OG Renaissance was like bloody. It was like a mess. It was a disaster. 14th century Italy, Europe had barely survived the Black Death, and the plague had wiped out over like a third of the population. Entire villages were completely decimated. People and their children and neighbors. I mean, it was, I don't want to get into it. And before that, feudalism, theocracy, it was like you were born in your place and you stayed there, and the church told you what to think and what not to be. Most people couldn't even read. Most of the population was illiterate. The church kept them that way, and art wasn't even expressive. It was just more for like function and like propaganda. So it was like it was used for like survival. Learned that in my graphic design. Shout out to my graphic design degree. And there were a few people who started reading these ancient texts. They were unearthing all these ideas around like freedom and reason. And suddenly they saw that like the human body wasn't this sinful thing. It was like actually a miracle. And so they would like paint the naked body, and that wasn't considered like an abomination. And, you know, artists weren't anonymous anymore. They were like they kind of became these like underground rock stars. They called it humanism, which was this idea that like simply the idea of being human was worthy of exploring. And so they did. Da Vinci and Michelangelo, they painted emotions, you know, pain, pleasure, dreams, stories. They were awakening, man. And now here we are, different century, just lived through not a plague, but yeah, a plague, watching institutions collapse, trust disappearing, you know, people falling through the cracks. Now that we have the internet, it's not like it's needing to be etched in marble or painted on the ceiling, you know, because we have TikTok. It's not written in Latin, but interpreted in a viral trend. A deepfake remix, 3D renderings. Art is back, chaotic, unfiltered, alive. We're in a content explosion. But it's more than that. It's like personal. It's survival through expression. Like I was saying earlier, pop music isn't even pop music. Thank you, Beyonce. Everybody say thank you, Beyonce. It's everything at once. R&B, techno, folk, hyper pop, like spoken word, queer ballroom, glued together with audacity. I mean, shit, you might even see an actor who midnights as a queer white rap clown. And I fucking love it. And I fucking love it because it means we're finally breaking labels and genres and boxes, and people are becoming themselves again. This always happens after a period of darkness. After the Enlightenment tried to logic its way through the world, Romanticism came in with fire and feeling. And years later, after capitalism commodified everything, pop art said, I'm gonna make a soup can holy. And after that was postmodernism, and full of irony. Yeah, this graphic design degree is coming in handy. Art is always a rebellion against silence. So what is today's silence, right? What void are you filling? We're drowning in information. We're starving in intimacy. So we make things. We post. We share, we perform, we play, we express, we try to feel something, anything. And maybe you've felt that too. Maybe this stirred something inside of you and you realize now that it's trying to come alive again. Or maybe you're already reborn. Maybe you're mid-rebirth. Maybe you're crowning. Women are beautiful. That video you posted, that journal entry, that outfit you wore because it made you feel sexy and cute, that was a little act of rebellion. That was you. That was your renaissance. Own it. We don't have the Medici family to fund us in our works of art, but we've got YouTube. We've got, Patreon, Kickstarter, Substack, Instagram, your cracked motherfucking iPhone, and you've got a will to make something out of the chaos that you're experiencing. It's a beautiful thing. You're not waiting to be discovered anymore. You're discovering yourself. You're not gatekeeping anything anymore. You're opening doors. You're not just making art. You're remembering who you are. And I know the world still feels dark. Fuck. There's war, there's crisis, there's corruption. But that's exactly why these awakenings are happening. That's exactly when these awakenings happen. Not when it's easy, but when it's urgent, when it's time. So if this is your individual renaissance, where do you go from here? What happens next? In history, sometimes it leads to a revolution, sometimes backlash, sometimes a myth, a new science. What is your responsibility to your work, to your voice, to your soul's mission? What did you come here to experience? Because the people in the Renaissance didn't know that they were inside of a Renaissance. They only knew that after the fact. But maybe today we have the hindsight, we have the vision, we have the mirrors to bring forward that awareness. The people then were just painting ceilings, writing symphonies, carving bodies out of marble and stone, telling the truth with whatever tools they had. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? That's you. That's you. That's you. And I don't want to call this the content revolution or like the content renaissance. I just feel like that's algorithmic or it's just too limited. It's like the remix era. Help me out, guys. Let me know in the comments. What should we call this era in time? Is there an art? Are we currently in an era of art that we know of? That's where my graphic design degree is limited. It's been a while. Maybe we don't even name it at all because it's evolving so fast every single day. By tomorrow, this video will be, buried underneath another one about a different topic. This shit will be old news. Maybe no one will ever even see this, right? But it doesn't even matter because I'm telling my truth. In this content is my truth coming forward. Content is the facilitator of the message. I hope you got something out of this video. There's more content like this on the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You know what to do. And I'll see you next time.